Here I am again. I'm live streaming again, just testing this out. I want to see if the chat function works. So that should have popped up there. I don't seem to be able to do the chat through OBS though, although I can pop up that little window there. It doesn't like me creating a channel to join the chat in OBS though. But on the YouTube live studio I can do the chat from there. So that's pretty good. I guess I could pop out that window and have that up here anyway. So, okay, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm pretty much clear with what's going on with that. Just having a play really. So this is going to be the most boring live stream you've ever seen in your life. But let's spice it up with some stuff. This, I did all the layout and design for this. It's by Ezra Clavery. It's amazing. James has pulled out all the stops on the production. It's a thing of beauty. So 3 volumes, 2 poster maps, expedition sheets, character sheets, and like an amazing GM screen. Box. Expedition logs. Ah, hello. Yeah. Well, the slipcase version's actually €300, something like that. It's it's not cheap, but it's quality. That's the piece of paper that comes with the slipcase on the front. Interesting story about that is that this is a 3D mock-up created of all of the things that were in the box, because we had to get the sheets printed, set up and to the printers at the same time as the books, so we didn't have the books to take a photo to stage it, so that's a full 3D mock-up. Character sheet pad, double-sided. Character sheets is my thing, Jay. As we know. I'm just trying to show what the maps are about. So that is Virginia. And on the back it's a plain hex map, so players can fill that in. There's 2 versions of this, so this is the GM's map really, because it's got all the tables on. And then this one is more of a player's map, because it doesn't have the tables on, but it's still got the same reverse as well, so players can make notes on that. But yeah, this GM screen, we had a few different discussions about whether it should be 4-panel or 3-panel, but I think it's really good as a 4-panel. and that's the 3 pieces of art that feature on the front of each volume. Plus, there's a different piece of art on the slipcase, so that's where the 4 come from. So that piece there, and each volume's got a different James Flowerdew piece. So James Flowerdew did all the art for these, and it's like a massive effort. I think it's over 100 pieces at least. Yeah, it's really good. GM screens. So I think James would have got them made by Atava Printing, maybe, over in Finland. I had some GM screens made, but they were more paper screens, so any printer can really do that. It's just folded card. I'll tell you somebody else who has had a really good GM screen made, and that is Chris Shepperson. So he used to work for Modifius and Steamforged, and this is his GM screen, and I think he gets these printed in the company Standard Impressa or something like that. So again, 4-panel screen, but this is US lateral rifle. Not quite sure which. So again, that's a pretty good screen. Slightly bigger though. Yeah, I'll tell you, because you get some books I think printed in the same place. They're in Lithuania, Latvia. He said, yeah, I can't see now. I can't find it typically. Printed in Lithuania. So yeah, I think that's Standard Impressa. Yeah, Lithuania. That's correct. Yeah, the SLA stuff I think gets done there as well. Yeah. Well, I'm glad the chat stuff's working. That's pretty handy. I'm not just here talking to myself, which I spend most of the time doing. So yeah, I'm going to now try and thread all these neatly back in this box without dog earing anything. We'll see how good I can do that. But yeah, James Ruddy also did the Don't F the Priest box set, which that's got cards and dice in, and it's not a slip case; it's more of a folded box kind of thing. But that's pretty good as well. I don't know whether I'm supposed to show unusual nude content on the first live stream really that I've ever done, so I probably won't just yet. But yeah, it's good stuff. Right, so seems a shame to not talk about some other stuff while I'm here though. What shall I talk about? What else have I done? The Staffordshire Trading Company works of John Williams. I should really talk about some Midlands stuff. I've got that much of it. But I might actually plan a stream that's kind of more useful than me just rambling. Also this book, which is a thoroughly playable demi-plane, if you can stomach it. Which one did you almost buy? The map book? What's the plan with the video? You know what? I don't really have any clue. I need to just do more YouTubey stuff. But sometimes I'm kind of so busy. Oh, the Rude book. Rude book. So, yeah, the Rude book. I'll try and do. So that's the. I don't know whether you've seen the content. So there's the deck of cards. That's for generating the dungeon itself, and 2 dice that are for rolling on the tables for each of the areas. And then this is the book itself, which has got this cool cutout. Yeah, and the I think it was Charlie Gillespie did the art inside this, which is it's just amazing stuff. I think he's a pretty established artist. But yeah, it's just like got some amazing pieces in. But yeah, trying to get the doing the layout for these. So in the, I think I've pretty much done all of the layout. All of the layout on the last 2 release cycles for James. So, like I've done all the layout for all of this, and Heart of the Saint, which I think is the one that you were talking about. Yeah, the body parts. Yeah, Heart of the Saint, and all of the last release, like the Yellow Book of Breckwold, and yeah, that was a big release cycle. It was very time compressed as well. So there were like 11 different publications, and you're trying to come up with a unique design for each one. So yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a pretty pressured thing. But yeah, the last release cycle. I mean, a True Relation of the Great Virginia Disastrum took a long time to lay out. It's 3 volumes and a lot of pages. So that and Don't F the Priest and Heart of the Saint, Lair of the Brain Eaters, and then I think there were 5 Weird Crushers as well. So yeah, James was keeping me very busy, and very busy the previous release cycle as well, which was a lot more demanding. Yeah, he's doing a lot of good stuff. I think I've pretty much got most stuff. I mean, the one joy of working with James is when you're involved in projects, he sends you contributor copies. So luckily, I didn't have to pay for my slipcase edition of ATR, because James is very generous with the contributor copies, which in itself it's like having a payment. If I didn't get contributor copies, I'd have probably bought it, maybe. Although a big expense, I'd have probably got the £90 version, €90 version, whatever it is, for pretty much, I think, the same reason as you. You know, it's a lot of money, but limited edition as well. And I think, I mean, in terms of the content, it's like Ezra's, the amount of effort and her kind of commitment to the subject that Ezra's put into it is amazing. And it's up there with, you know, Veins of the Earth and RPL and like the big LOTFP projects. And it needs to have more exposure. Definitely. And I think James is kind of getting some wheels in motion to do that, maybe. Yeah, so videos on layout for RPGs. I have actually got a few. If you look on the channel, I think there's some for Affinity Publisher. I think there's 2, just showing some basic stuff. It's one of those things that how much of your knowledge do you impart to the masses, and still try and retain some clients to do work for. So yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of doing videos and saying, here's all this stuff that I can show you how to do, and then in 6 months' time wonder why I've got no work. So yeah, I have to keep some secrets, otherwise. And I've had instances in the past where people have asked me about stuff, and then decided to start doing that sort of stuff themselves, and then, you know, working for people that I've worked for in the past, and I kind of think, I shot myself in the foot with that, maybe. But yeah, one of those things. I do like to give into the hobby as well, so it's kind of a bit of a two-edged sword. What I should do really is pay for consultancy, and then it doesn't feel quite so bad. Yeah, so yeah, I've been doing a lot of projects lately. A lot of layout projects as well. A few bits of cartography stuff here and there, but layout has been dominating my days. It seems to be something that AI can't spoil yet, I think. Yeah, I think with layout, I don't think AI will really get to the point where you can issue some files and tell it to lay it out in the style of another book. There's so many nuanced decisions you make when you're doing book layout that I don't like. Well, AI is just not. The art's good, but it's just not perfect. So yeah, layout's pretty free from the influence of AI at the moment. But yeah, there's I mean, I tend to use InDesign for client work. Some people do it in Affinity Publisher, which I think you mentioned. And Affinity Publisher is fantastic. and I've got it, and I use that. I have some clients that do layout as far as they can, but they're not sure about how to create the print files and that sort of stuff. So they send me their files, and then I go through and make any adjustments and that need to be made, so that they can pass through drive-throughs, processes, or whatever. So yeah, I do a bit of that for a few people, just to make sure that they've they can get their products print on demand or whatever. Yeah. InDesign's got some nice little bells and whistles that Affinity Publisher certainly didn't have when I started. I was going to make the switch. In fact, what started me off on InDesign, I was using a program called Serif Page Plus. That was the first thing I ever used for layout, and I kind of got into figuring out what was in all the menus, and I knew it. And kind of it just changed to Affinity Publisher, and Frog God Games and I were in some conversations, well, Necromancer Games, Frog God Games, we're in some conversations about the Midlands for 5th edition. And one of the stipulations was the layout would all need to be done in InDesign, and so they could have the files afterwards. And at that point I'd not used InDesign, and I figured there was going to be a learning curve. But because I'd used Page Plus, and I'd kind of played about with the very early version of Publisher, Affinity Publisher, I figured that spending a week scouring the internet and watching videos on it would hopefully be enough. So I basically did that, and did all the layout in InDesign. And actually, the process of doing that made me switch to InDesign, because I just found InDesign so much better as a program for layout. And the 5th edition of the Midlands is one of my favourite books in terms of layout. But I would say that, obviously. So this is a softcover version of it. So I had to redo all the artwork. So yeah, sometimes getting thrown in is definitely the best way to do it. Yeah, I redid the map for it as well. Yeah, not showing that very well, but there we go. Yeah, I like this book. Needs to get much more love. It's actually, well, it's 5th edition, so probably doesn't get much love in my OSR circles, but yeah, thanks for that. I want to create more content for it, but at the moment I've just got that much freelance going on. I've got a few different side projects I just can't seem to get to release. I mean, one's practically done, which is an Old School Essentials cemetery crawl called Roycroft, and that's it's pretty much there. But also I'm kind of in the process of moving house as well, so I've just agreed today to put my house on the market. So I'm actually working from my partner's house now. Well, actually, I'm in the garden room. I've had a garden room built to work from, because there's not enough room in a house until I've sold mine and built an extension. So That's all going to be fun. But yeah, yeah, like, would I open? Yeah, I did want to open up the Midlands. I probably should have done it a long time ago, because it kind of relies on me or some fan submissions to go into the midazines, and yeah, I don't. One of the issues with it is that because it's some OGL content and some, so the copyright of some of the writing, so it's not all mine, it's Edwin's and Mark's and some other people involved in different books. So because it's their copyright, having people create other stuff based on stuff that's not specifically my copyright, it just potentially gets a little bit complicated legally, for the sake of neatness. Not that I think Edwin or Mark would have any problems at all with me kind of, you know, opening it up and letting people write for it. And I think it's probably a conversation to have. But yeah, yeah, just too much stuff going on, and there's just me trying to do enough freelance to get the bills paid, and then when it goes a bit quiet, I'll then run my own things. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, I've also got my own game system. So the OGL debacle kind of unsettled me about the reliance on a third party, basically, to be a part of the foundations of your business. So I started to create my own system, which is quite well developed, and I've got a rule book. Probably not that handy. Sort of handy. So I've had a printed version done for playtesting. Now, at the moment, all of the art is just placeholder art for me to give to people, but yeah, it's all AI generated art for the placeholder sort of playtesty version. So Darkest of Tales, and it uses three. So the base mechanic, the core mechanic. So this is just some kind of sample pages. I don't want to use AI art in an actual published product, but it's good enough for using to create a visual to kind of get the feel of what I'm trying to do. So yeah, the mechanic is 3d10, and you roll 3d10, and the object of the exercise is to get 10 or more on each dice. And if you get a 10 or more, it's like one success. So you can get re-rolls on dice, and you can add pluses to dice, and you can have modifiers, negatives to dice as well. So yeah, originally it was going to be 3d6, but it didn't give enough scope. but yeah, it's basically the skill system is called areas of knowledge. So if you, let's say you have an area of knowledge of woodland, flora and fauna, you would then, an area of knowledge would grant you a reroll on one of the d10s. So if you're rolling 3d10 and I say you need to identify this scat on a trail, you need to get 1 success. So you roll 3d10, you're trying to get 10 plus. But your area of knowledge, woodland, flora and fauna, will give you a reroll on 1 dice. So you get to re-roll one of them, and you're ultimately trying to get 10 or more with any bonuses. And the combat basically is the same. You're rolling to get successes, and the defender's rolling to defend against the attack. And whoever gets the most successes wins or damages. And if you tie, the attacker still does damage. So yeah, it's pretty much there. It's got a crafting system, magic. You pretty much you have professions, which just give you extra areas of knowledge and a favoured stat. And favoured stats give you a reroll whichever your favoured stat is. So if you're doing a test, and it's using one of your favoured stats, you then get a reroll for that test. So yeah, it's yeah, I need to do some videos where I'm explaining that better with graphics and fandangledness. But yeah, I don't know whether I'll be getting to that soon. Oh yeah, yeah, playtesters, yeah, definitely. Yeah, more than happy to send out playtest information. Be good to get people to actually try and run it as referees. But yeah, I think I might run an online game. Or just a one-shot or something like that, just to see how people get on with the system. I've got an adventure written out for it, so yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I'll drop you an email when I know when I can do something like that. When kind of suits you? Is it like Friday nights or something? Like I'm better with Thursday and Friday evenings, generally UK time. So if that ever suits you, just I don't know. Pepsi Max, it's the fuel for Monkey Blood design. Oh right, Thursdays, cool. Yeah, blimey, 30 years. Yeah. I mean, my group kind of comes and goes, depending on the seasons. But yeah, we need to get our act together again. I need to run some more online games anyway. Get my all back in. Try and get my face-to-face group more active as well. Ah, MERP. Yeah, MERP, old school. The box sets in there. The old box set, the classic. Yes, down here. Oh yes, over there. Yeah, it had great critical tables, I seem to remember. Like you step on an imaginary deceased turtle or something like that. Have you got Against the Dark Master, which is like the MERP, the kind of clone, MERP clone? That one. In fact, the image on the front's pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I did some work for these guys. I know it's got actually they did a Kickstarter called Secrets of the Golden Throne, which is due to be released soon, must be. But I wrote an adventure for that as part of the campaign that's in that book. So yeah, that definitely can't be far away. It's funny because I haven't heard anything about that for a little while. But yeah, I'm sure it's all going through. But yeah, they got an artist to do work in here called Marcin S, and he, like, his art's brilliant. I'm just trying to see if I can find a picture of his. Oh yeah, I did some maps in the main rule book as well. Oh yeah, that's like a Marcin S piece. You probably might have seen the style. So yeah, I really love his work. He's on my list of artists for when I need to get my next project out. Roll 20, choose it. Yeah. MERP. Oh, kind of about that time as well, because I would have played MERP when I was like 14, 15 or something, back in the day. Kind of in the early days when I got into RPG stuff. So it was Beckme Redbox was kind of my first foray into it back in about 80, 85, something like that. Yeah, and then and MERP. Was there another version of Middle Earth? It was kind of like a purpley box. Rings a bell. Because there was the first box, I guess that's the first edition, which was like the red, kind of a red box with a very similar image that Against the Dark Master has on the front. And then I've got this feeling there was like a second edition box that we had, which was like a purple. Yeah, GW. Right, okay. Yeah, because it's the Angus McBride artwork in the red box version, isn't it? Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, we had the red box and we had the purple box. I don't, like back in the day, I don't think we really knew the difference. Right. Right. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, about that time, so it was all that kind of stuff, and Warhammer Fantasy First Edition book, and Rune Quest as well, and Advanced Rune Quest. I kind of went and bought all the old books to kind of relive my youth. It still makes me smile looking at them now. So it was worth every penny. But the funny thing is, you know, at the time you go and buy these books for £10 or whatever they were back in the day, and then you sell them because you've stopped gaming, and then later you get back into gaming, and then you buy them for 5 times the price that you paid for them originally before. Yeah, so like my theme folio. Yeah, DM's Guide, RuneQuest, Merc Box. Did you ever play Dark Conspiracy as well? Dark Conspiracy. Oh, I love Dark Conspiracy. And Gary Gygax's Dangerous Journeys. And I ran my most atmospheric game that I've ever run using Dangerous Journeys. And it wasn't necessarily the system. The system was like a bit intense, but it just everything happened right. It was like a in the Midlands. Is it the Midlands Expanded? There's an adventure in there with the rat dogging, and that's the basis of that original of that adventure that I ran using Dangerous Journeys. White Dwarf 38. D&D much for £3.50. Oh, makes me cry. Yeah, Dark Conspiracy, Dangerous Journeys, Jiroon, Talislanta. Yeah, never played Jiroon or Talislanta. But I think we had them in our group. People had the books, but we just never really got to them. Sound like GURPS. We played some Palladium. Some Call of Cthulhu as well, like the old versions. But yeah, mainly it was D&D really. First edition, second edition, third, fourth. I've played fifth a bit, but it's not really aimed at me anymore. I think it's probably fair to say it's not. It's becoming less a game aimed at my age group, which is fine, because there's plenty of other games that I can play. I'll tell you another game, and the layout is, it's like, I think it was up for a nomination for an Emmy, and I don't know, I'm not sure whether it won. It must have got a silver at least. It's like, it's, and this isn't old stuff. This is just ruining my screens. It's this. It's kind of anime, manga-y, Pokemon sort of game. And this has been in development way back in the G+ days. And I was following the two guys that were heavily involved in it. But it's just illustrated by one person who did the layout as well. So it's got, yeah, I'm not really into the anime stuff either, but like I couldn't not get this. I think it was the aesthetics of it. And it's very rare that you have the consistency of one person doing all of the layout and all of the art on something as big as that. So that makes it very unique. I think it won something like Best Family Game. Might have got gold. I can't remember. But yeah, I haven't even read any of the rules, because every time I open it, I'm just like, oh, I like how they did that. Oh, that's good. Oh, I like how they did that. I can't get past the layout enough to read it. It's that good. So yeah, I think Grey Wizard is the guy that did it all, and he deserves every accolade he gets for it, because it's stunning. But I think it was all written by Reynaldo. Yeah, a guy called Reynaldo. Yeah. Oh, thanks, John. I've got there's 2 people in the chat. This is amazing. It's the first time I've ever tried to do a live stream, and luckily, thanks Jason, because you're keeping this live stream on air. But yeah, definitely worth owning, if just to flick through and be amazed at it. Oh. Right, so what about Swords and Wizardry? Have you played any Swords and Wizardry? Any of the other old? I've got your Fantasy Gits book here as well, actually. Let's plug it while we're here. Fantasy Gits. And are you allowed to say what's coming next? Because you're not. Are you changing away from Feral Gamers? Because there was a new email, wasn't there? I don't want to say anything. I don't want to speak out of turn. But yeah, Fantasy Gits. Signature edition as well. Oh, okay. You know, sometimes I've thought about changing my name, but not my actual name, but Monkey Blood Design. But there's a complexity to that, especially because you've got a lot of drive-through content. Yeah, so how do you? There's a lot of work in updating all of your content, presumably, to now become the new name, and changing emails and domains and things like that. So that's the thing that would stop me from changing Monkey Blood Design and Publishing. I actually love Monkey Blood Design and Publishing. It's kind of like monkeys are fun, blood's edgy, so it's like edgy fun, which kind of sums up, I think, what I do, sort of fun, edgy stuff. But yeah, sometimes I just think, maybe I shouldn't have called it Design and Publishing. I should have just called it Games, like Monkey Blood Games or something like that. But it's because my website URL is monkeyblooddesign.co.uk. The design bit's kind of stuck now, and I don't fancy changing it all. Yeah, not on my radar. But yeah, I feel your pain from doing it. I would imagine it's going to be an uphill battle, especially because you've got so much content, and it's all under Feral Games. Real fight, yeah. Yeah. So was it Feral Gamers Inc. because you were in America? Because Inc. would be like an Americanized. Mind you, that's LLCs as well, isn't it? But you have you moved? You've moved to Scotland way now, have you? Oh right, okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, most of the time I'm happy with Monkey Bud design, but then sometimes I just think maybe I could have come up with something cooler. But I didn't. Yeah, what other stuff? Old School Essentials. Yeah, I do like it most of the time, and then sometimes I just think, oh, mainly when I'm dealing with somebody that's a client not into gaming, and it's not a gaming related project, then it just I think it comes across as a bit odd to people not into gaming. Bookcase, yeah, those are the IKEA Kallax, is it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's loads. I mean, the I can turn this round a bit. All the way down there, and then it starts to get into the stock pile of stock, which I need to try and get rid of some of it. So, yeah. Yeah, well, between the collecting of the old, like I've got a load of the old D&D modules, like the X1 to X13 and B1 to B whatever. So I did go through a phase of collecting all of those. And I wasn't really bothered about the condition too much. I didn't need them pristine, so if they've got a bit of scribble in it, it's fine. But I just wanted to have them for reference and to look at. So yeah, but between the collection and the amount of cardboard boxes and plastic really useful boxes, the heavy duty ones, I've just got a ton of stock, and I need to basically try and find some way of getting that to somebody over in the States that's going to sell to the guys in the US, because the shipping rates are just such a roadblock sometimes to getting your content in the States, unless you're doing print on demand and stuff, which I didn't do for a lot of my stuff. It's all printed via various different printing companies in the UK, and yeah, trying to shrink it down a little bit. Otherwise, if I have another project, a Kickstarter, and I order a load of books, I'm just going to get swamped in here. But anyway, I'll worry about that when I need to worry about it. Yeah, now I stumbled across something really interesting. My web store's WooCommerce, so I've kind of set all that up myself. But I found out yesterday that Lulu, you can integrate your WooCommerce store with Lulu. So people go to your WooCommerce store and order your books through the Lulu interface and basically get the print on demand that way. That way they can get printed in wherever. Hey there, Guy. Oh, thank you. Hey, no sweat, man. Hope you're doing well over there, mate. Yeah, so yeah, it's my first live stream. I like just rambling, talking rubbish. So, but yeah. Yeah, so I need to I need to sort out my distribution a bit better and try and not do it all myself, really, from the UK. I did at one point Exalted Funeral, bought a load of stock and they sold it relatively quickly, and then we were in some discussion about having some more, and that kind of went off the radar. They're very busy, the guys over there. I think it's Matt Kelly. And I need to really get back in touch with him and say, look, you know, are you interested in taking over the Soul US distribution? Maybe, don't know. It's a conversation maybe to have. Hello. I keep seeing all these names, but they're all YouTube aliases. So I don't know, other than Feral Gamers Inc., because I know Jay and Guy, who's bought lots of my stuff. It's very very kind. I'm not sure who some of these people are. So, John Doe, let me know who you are. And Richard, hi. Not sure which Richard you are, but hi. And Nightmare Cow, although Nightmare Cow might be a spam spam bot. Ah, that Richard. Oh, I know that Richard. Yeah. Oh, nice to see you. Well, not see you. Nice for you to see me. So Richard Marpole, for anybody that doesn't know, that's watching, is the amazing author of my Midland stuff's all over there. So, Folk Magic of the Haven Isles and Fighting Folk of the Haven Isles. I must get those books. I've just got to go and visit my pile, and I'll be off camera for too long because they're right over there. But yeah, what I need to do is get a window up on here, and then I can shove stuff into it. In fact, let's see if I can do some crazy magic. Let's see if I can do some crazy magic. This is going to go badly. I can feel it. Yeah, it says things popping up on screen while I'm doing this, then my apologies. Yeah, you see, I haven't really got a clue what I'm doing. So I'll probably not do that until I've got a bit more experience with this. Yep. See you, Jay. Sorry if I just missed you. And not at all about hogging the live stream. Thanks for keeping it going. If you're still here, Richard, I'm going to get your books. I've got one, but it's my markup copy, which I put a sticker over. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic book. I'm talking about the content specifically, not just not the other stuff. Yeah, great though, absolutely great. Bringing the Midlands to life. Right. Well, I've been on this live stream for an hour, which is pretty unbelievable. Just talking about rubbish. So I am going to, I think, call it an evening, and thank you very much to people that popped in just to have a look. And yeah, the Fighting Folk books, fantastic. Yeah, well, that and the folk magic. I think Richard had. We talked about clerics. Was it cults of the Haven Isles at some point? Which, yeah, that would be good. One for every swords and wizardry. One for every swords and wizardry class. Yeah. I need to just stop freelancing so I can actually publish all these books that I've got waiting in the wings. So I've got Rycroft's the most about to be released thing. I just need to find time between the freelancing and moving house to actually get enough time to set up a Kickstarter and run it. So, but that's it's actually for Old School Essentials, Cemetery Crawl. If I was a bit more switched on to this live streaming and my OBS setup, I could have shown you some stuff. Actually, let me see if I can be really clever. Hang on one sec. Rycroft. So I need to I just need to be better at using this. Now then. I'm not very quick at this, am I? Oh, here we go. Okay, I think. Yeah, it's because I'm kind of learning it. It took me ages to figure out how to get it to come onto YouTube, but now I know. So I'm going to just switch the view. So not that one. We want that one. And unlock it and make it a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so so this is the cemetery. This is kind of like the VTT version of the map, and all of these structures are. This is the abbey here, or this is the abbey here, and a lot of the locations are written about, and then it's more about what's going on beneath the abbey. So basically you have different factions. So we've got the maggot kin, the worm kin, and the woodlings, and then there's contested areas, and the abbess that ruled the abbey has got some areas. So the maps are kind of done. All of the locations are written up. Play testing. So I think this is the playtest version of the PDF. So you can pretty much. This art is by John Hodgson. Done a lot of he did a lot of stuff for Cubicle 7. I think he used to work for Cubicle 7. Is he art director maybe? Oh. But yeah, he just does amazing art. He got some stuff in Old School Essentials as well. But yeah, so as you can see, a lot of this is done. So these are the maggot kin. That's She That Buzzes, who's like the maggot kin's top level boss. Yeah, so the idea is there's basically not many undead here, although it's a cemetery. So you would, we kind of get rid of that stereotype for the cemeteries, but it's more about the things that feed on the dead, and what's going on with them. And then these are for tables for populating the burials and things. And there's some desecration rules. So the more burials you disturb and plunder, the worse things can get for you. And the desecration rules actually appear in Knock 4 as a bit of a road test for those. So yeah, with desecration, what happens is it depends what your alignment is. If you're a lawful character, then doing that sort of stuff's going to get you into trouble pretty quick. So like as you gain more desecration points for disturbing more burials, like if you've gained 100 and you're a lawful character, you're getting heart palpitations. Saving throws an additional -1, so they're now -3. You stop gaining XP. Spellcasters have 15% chance additional of spell failure, so 25% chance of your spell failing. Chaotic characters, they sort of gain some benefit through it rather than risk. But yeah, so I mean, as you can see, it's pretty much yeah, it's pretty much done. So this blue window is quite key to the whole thing. It's kind of driving some of the stuff going on, but when you arrive at the abbey, it's actually shattered. There's just a few pieces remaining, and the pieces are scattered throughout the abbey and the ground below. So there's kind of some collectibles going on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this actually coming out at some point. But it needs just some final bit of testing, and I could do with some play testers really. I could do some people to go away and run it with their groups. That would be really good, and come back with some feedback. Just to see if there's any improvements can make to kind of make it a bit easier to run. So I've done some play testing with it, and it's yeah. Yeah, the group actually went. They tried to dig down in the graveyard, and they ended up in the catacombs, but they hadn't really got a clue. They hadn't come across any of the maggot kin or the woodlings or the any of the factions, so they were pretty surprised. I think it was some maggot kin they came across, which kind of freaked them out a bit. But yeah, and then they basically just kept retreat because they didn't know what it was that they were confronted with, and also because they'd just pretty much gone straight down, they were over their heads a little bit, because what they were encountering was going to seriously kick their ass. So yeah, they just kept retreating, and as they were retreating, they were going into more dangerous situations. Yeah, so that's funny. But yeah, it was like it's like a 2-shot we were doing just to do some testing. But yeah, that was funny. So yeah, that's Roycroft. What other stuff? I need to do some more midazines. I've pretty much got enough content, I think, for a midazine 8. It's just getting time to coalesce stuff together. There we go. Right. Well, this stream's been going for an hour and 15 minutes, which is quite a lot longer than I imagined this was going to be, and I need to wrap things up. So thanks ever so much, everybody, for coming and saying hello, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully I'll do a few more, slightly more organised, maybe with actually some things that I'm supposed to be telling people or showing people, or maybe some reviews, who knows. It's all going to be down to time, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, anybody that wants to help with any play testing of anything, would like some materials to do some testing, feel free to drop me an email, which you can find the email on the website. So the social, or get in touch with me via any of the social media links at the bottom. Yeah, I can send some stuff out if you want to kind of get involved in Roycroft or Darkest of Tales, which I mentioned earlier on the stream, which needs some playtesters. Yeah, I think that's about it for the moment. Right, everybody, have a wonderful evening or day, depending on where you are. So, Guy, are you still? Because you were in the US for a bit, weren't you? And then I think you've gone back over to Israel, maybe. So it's probably quite late for you there now. It's 11 here, so it must be early in the morning for you. So yeah, thanks ever so much, everybody, and I'll do another stream soon. Ta-ta! Bye!